What's up everybody, it's your boy Skipx here with another video today, and over on Gematsu they have translated an interview with Tales of Arise producer Yusuke Tomizawa, and he has given out quite a bit of information on Tales of Arise. So with that being said, we're going to pick out the things that I find the most interesting from this article, and as always I will have the source linked down below. Tales of Arise has actually been in development for a long time before even Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, so we have to assume at least maybe a head start of about 2 years, whereas Tales of Vesperia was announced at last year's E3, and then let's say it started development in 2016. I believe that this game probably was in development at least since 2015 and even possibly 2014, so this game has been cooking at Bandai Namco since about 2014 or 2015, so about 4 or 5 years at this point, which definitely leads me to believe that this is going to be a very high quality game. Moving on from there, he says, as from the video you might be able to tell that this is a considerably challenging title, and when creating it we first had to take some time to rethink what the Tales of series was and what it should be. He says that their goal was succession and evolution while also confronting the traditions of the series. They were trying to figure out and analyzing the main appeals of the Tales of series. There were many parts that needed to evolve for the future, but he also wanted to maintain the identity of the series while also being able to grab new people who may have not been interested in the series up until just now. So with all of that being said, they are very much taking the next leap in Tales games. They are very much thinking about how this game will affect future games to come on while they're going into this next era. They also want to reach out to new people, but keep in mind what makes this series so popular among people who call themselves Tales fans. And next they mentioned that they have finally gotten rid of their old unique engine that they used to build these games upon and have moved over to developing on the Unreal Engine 4 while developing their own completely unique original shaders and things that are completely unique to the Tales games that they are making. And they hope by doing this they will make a more immersive experience for players who are playing this game, and hope that they have a sense of this character actually lives within this world, even taking into account the sizes of people's bodies and particularly the motions in which characters move within the game, which is an extremely big thing for me and a lot of other Tales fans, because as a lot of people have noted and said, and I have said myself, that sometimes the characters look a little bit stiff, and we can definitely see this in Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. And while I do give that game a bit of a pass because it is an older game in the series, so I am really glad about this, and I can't wait to see how these characters animate, because that makes me really excited that he specifically is mentioning that. Next, Minoru Iwamoto, who I believe has worked on Tales of Vesperia and did some of the character designs for characters in Tales of Zestria and Tales of Berseria, is going to be the main character artist for this game and the head of art direction, meaning that the world will overall feel more cohesive. Somebody won't be designing the world and how it looks, and then you have another person completely going wild with their designs. So this will make probably a more overall seamless experience going through this world. Obviously there are going to be some wacky and maybe even out there character designs, as there always is in the Tales of series, but maybe they'll be more attuned and adjusted to the world that they are in. And while you may say that they're a bit outrageous, they won't look so crazy that they will be out of place within this universe, which is a very great thing. Next, moving on to facial animations, again he is mentioning animation once again, which is making me very happy. He says they're aiming for a level of 3D animation comparable to television and theater, and he says while it may appear that 2D animation is unnecessary with the upgraded 3D animation, 2D animation is an important element of Tales of games and plays a part in the great balance that is succession and evolution. While looking for a more effective utilization, we are designing the drama to be more exciting on both ends. So with him saying that, there may be more than a few animated cutscenes within Tales of Arise this time around. I remember back in Tales of Xillia, I believe we only got about maybe 2 or 3, maybe even 4, but not that many. But the fact that he would even mention 2D animation for a Tales game seems to me that there's probably going to be quite a few 2D animated scenes, which in my opinion I have no problem with, but I do find that very interesting that he made that statement. Also, this game is being entirely developed by Bandai Namco Studios, and they have people from Tales of Berseria all the way to some people even working on Tales of Fantasia working on this this game. Having people who have worked on some of the newer games and some of the people who have worked on the older games can only produce very great results, with brand new ideas coming in between these two generations of people working on this same series. So talking about the two protagonists that we see within the first trailer, it is noted that the female is from Reina, who is the dominant planet, and basically she enslaves people from Donna, which the male protagonist hails from, and her personality is a very commanding one at that. So there's going to be a lot of great drama in the early stages of the game while they're getting to know each other and starting to break this mold of people ruling over one another or enslaving one another. And he also does mention that the main protagonist will have various costume changes throughout the main game depending on the situation that he is in. So that could mean equipable or even changeable armor. I don't know. Maybe he just means that we're going to get a lot of costumes for each of our characters in this game, but he could also be mentioning that possibly the armor that we get in this game could actually change our character's physical appearance, which would be a nice added addition to the game. But at the same time, I hope they have an option to just leave like their base clothing and their base designs just in case the armor isn't exactly the best looking. And also that he mentions that these games are Tale-esque battle sequences, obviously with enemies and encounters, so probably is going to be the same thing where you bump into an enemy and then you'll go into a battle state, and says that they wanted to make the battle system something that you could just look at and say that's really cool looking. So we have to imagine that probably the battle system isn't going to be the most complicated, at least in this game, because they are trying to grab new people and it is the first time that they're kind of moving into this next stage of Tales of games, so it would make sense that the battle system wouldn't be all that complicated. And they've even had team discussions asking each other why things such as skits are popular and what kinds of evolutions do players want to see. And he also says here that they thought it necessary to open up a blog to bring the series together, and from here on that they will communicate in detail via social media, which is something I think that the Tales series has always kind of lacked. They have never had a big social media or even a blog presence for their fan base, so that's a great thing to see. He says while he can't make any promises, but he would like to offer more opportunities to go hands-on with the game before it releases, and they could be mentioning taking the game around to other events like PAX East, which is going to be over here in America earlier in the year, or even TGS, which is happening later on this year, or even possibly releasing a short demo, because they did actually release a demo for Tales of Berseria, so it isn't that far-fetched to say that they might release a demo of Tales of Berseria just to get a general feeling of how fans and new people are feeling the combat system, the looks, and everything overall happening in the game from that demo. So that could be a possible tease right there. And last but not least, the interviewer asked why did they choose the name Arise, and Tomizawa basically says that the codename for this project was named Arise because it was basically a revitalization of the series, and that is what they are going for. And he wants the tagline or abbreviation of this game to be Arise or To Arise, meaning that they are taking things to the next level, moving forward, and making a great game in the new era of the Tales series. And last but not least, there is no release date at the time. So with that being said, that is a lot of information in this article. With all of that being said though, I will link the article down below for you to read more of this stuff yourself. And last but not least, it has been your boy Skipx, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.